All right. Welcome to the stream, another Sunday afternoon stream. I hope everybody's long weekend is going wonderfully and well. Having a good time out there, maybe ready for the Monday for a little barbacoa and some fun action. But I figured today we would take a look at Terra Luna's price action, see a look what is actually happening in the trading markets as far as Terra 2.0. This is a long-awaited release for Terra to actually make it to this point, and quite frankly, we can already see up on the screens on the charts that both Luna and LUNC, Luna Classic, are rallying a little bit. And this is after a decent drop off of the initial offering or the initial sort of DEX exchange listing. And we can see right here what is happening. Now the transfer over when it comes to these two, let's zoom out a little bit. When the transfer over to LUNC, they both have, this is the history they have now. So all old Luna action has been taken off and it basically has started fresh. So this is all we're looking at is these short amounts. And you know, I may just want to bring this one up, but I wanted to point to USDC and USDT are pretty much the standards we're seeing across the board for all of the exchanging pairs that you're going to find on most exchanges. Now I did see a few listed before that were pointing to Luna and ETH being a trading pair, and I can't believe, I'll take a scroll down here and we can have a look and see which one that actually was for. And right now I'm currently looking at the Luna Terra, the Terra Twitter, Terra Money, Terra _ money. That is the place to officially go. Be careful out there. There are a very large amount of scams going out there right now. We'll go and take a look at those in a second, but it seems like people are basically giving out airdrops to people who will retweet and comment on their Twitter posts. I think it's really just in an attempt to get their accounts to blow up. Alternatively, as a bit of a conspiracy, it could be related to the fact that they may be looking for users to come along and actually bump up their the information about Luna out there so that it does a bit of a pump and a rally, because some of these people may be holding a decent amount of tokens, so they may want to see this decently rally in the future. And what better way than to push out as much marketing and as much hype about it as you can. So like I said, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's actually bring over, I wish I could bring this over real quick. Let's go like this. We'll just open up a new tab and I'll bring it over to the larger scope so I can take a look at it a little bit easier here. And so like I said, I'm on KuCoin right now, which is obviously each exchange is kind of have a difference. And we can take a look at that wick, that initial wick that we had bump up. I gotta drop this volume here. It's taking up a lot of space. This initial wick seems to have on KuCoin made its way up to close to about $9.50, just shy of $10, which I dare say I believe is a reason due to that is because they wanted to you know, stop anyone short of that exit liquidity, and that's when the selling pressure started with probably a lot of exit points there. That obviously happened on a very short time frame. I mean, that's essentially like in a flash in the pan. So catching that would have been very difficult to say the least, but we can actually scroll in and see that it did make a decent dip down to about $3. And honestly, what I'll speak to about the entire high point here is I did see a couple of posts pointing to it being about $17 on some exchanges, depending again where you were, probably the volume of people who are trading on that platform, or maybe had the forethought to get ready or sitting there waiting. It did do a decent rally on some other platforms too, so I wouldn't take this as the only one out there available. We can see that Luna Classic is still kind of hovering around some of those old numbers. We've got a number of zeros in there, so we're going to take a look at Luna Classic a little more in a second here. And I want to zoom this out so we can take a better squiz at what's actually going on here. And let's flesh it out just a little bit to see, yes, we're making indeed a little bit of a rally, which is kind of cool to see. I don't know how long this will actually last, honestly, but it's nice to see it not just fade off into oblivion right away. So I'm not sure necessarily where all the selling or the purchase pressure is coming from. It could be related to a bunch of people who just want this token to do well, who have their airdrops that they're looking to possibly liquidate out. And I did see a number of posts talking about the potential liquidation price that a lot of people would be looking for. And I think the number is significantly higher than $5. I think for the vast majority of people, it's probably closer to $20, $30 range where they would have a good price point to exit, but I have seen some as high as $90 that we're talking about how much they would need in order to make it back. So there's a varied amount of selling pressure and buying pressure out there. But as we can see, it's made a nice little rally, and it's only been live for pretty much a day. I mean, we're going on close to 18 hours here, it looks like. So 12 to 12 is 12 hours. 28th to the 29th, and then an extra day. So this came out Saturday, basically Friday night. So we have had one full 24-hour period. And this is the action we're seeing. I really, I'm super happy to see that it's going up. Again, I don't know what's going to keep this going. I have seen a lot of feed and information out there on Twitter about what is driving probably this price action. It's probably just people out there memeing it a little bit. So whether or not it's a risky play to stay in it, I'm not 100% sure. But what I will say is that it's kind of hard to kind of pick what's really going on as far as like having fundamentals based on day trading on this. So definitely be careful when it comes to your day trading period there. But I would say there's a definite possibility this has some legs on it. We have to give it a little bit just because of the nature of the fact that it hasn't completely crashed. I mean, that's amazing to me. That's absolutely fascinating. So the fact that it hasn't crashed is a really good note, and I think is acting as a bit of a bullish note here. Let's actually bring up also Luna Classic just to have a little bit of a squiz, because I think that's a little bit where the price action really has been made here over this short period this weekend. I bet there was probably a few punters in here. It's done a nice 70% gain over that period if you had it purchased in pretty much yesterday night, it looks like, or yesterday morning, sorry. You would have been able to have bought in somewhere nice. You would have had to have rode through this and realized that it wasn't going to continue crashing though. So again, very speculative on that, but you really could have made quite a decent amount of money back if you had a bet in on that point. They might have seen a certain amount of resistance pressure here and purchased in, but I'm not 100% sure what is driving it. I have to imagine a lot of the meme economy right now is one of the major features of this entire pump and what's keeping it alive, right? Again, because there's no utility to this token at all. People need to understand that. There's absolutely no utility to the Luna token or the Luna Classic token at all. Luna token has utility. This has a working ecosystem, and we'll go look at Dokwon's tweet in a second. But there is nothing on Luna Classic going on. It is essentially just a trading pair available to people. I believe exchanges are only keeping this open due to the fact that they want to provide them some form of ability to either exit the position or not. And hey, if people are having fun trading it, then why not? Let them go ahead and trade it and have a little bit of fun with it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And at the end of the day, it's it's no different than the volatility we're expecting to see in the normal, traditional sort of Bitcoin markets. So that's kind of exciting to see that going up. And again, not something I fully expected to see here, but I am glad to see it. I was checking out an article there. We'll talk about that in a second. Terra Luna powered by, this again is the key. You want to look for this one. Like I said, there's a lot of scams out there. So pay attention to what's going on and which account you're looking at. If you are interested in checking out the information through Twitter, that would, I say, probably the best place for crypto platforms to let you know of any changes, or for you to kind of follow the news or follow any of the memes going on out there, and if there's going to be any driving force. So you can see this was the pinned tweet up here. Is basically it did go live at about 6 a.m. on the 28th, so everything worked out pretty well. It does proceed to go through talking about a number of the features that it's up and running, how you can actually access your tokens. So I guess we should walk through that briefly. But basically, any Terra wallet you have available, like this one I have on my my little head's in the way. So just like this little Terra wallet I have in my Chrome browser, you can just click on that and essentially you've automatically been migrated over. So the Terra network, that wallet now opens up natively on the main net, which is now the Luna network. So you don't have to switch it over. And they do make here that there was a number of people talking about the Phoenix One network. It's not the Phoenix One network, it is the main net. You want to make sure to, because it does say here, there is a change where they wanted to make a correction, I believe, but you were basically on the main net is where you will be able to see it. So all I had to do to check my airdrop was just go to Terra Station, I didn't even have to go to Terra Station. Technically, I could just open up my wallet and I saw some Luna in there. And then I was able to head on over to Terra Station and have a look at what's being staked. So any of your or vested period rewards will be staked over on Terra Station. Now they are randomly staked with a validator. We can actually, let's actually go take a look and point to where all this action may be. It's not called Terra anymore, we're calling it Luna. So let's head over to Luna. This is a little tip for anyone. Always make sure to go on over through tick boxes. Can't we get to, where's Terra Station? How do I get to there from there? Oh, not Academy. I was pretty sure I could get to Terra Station from here. Terra Station, there we go. So again, using a link through a trusted website is preferable than just maybe Googling it. That's what I would always do. So you'll just connect your wallet up here and then you'll basically be able to see immediately in the stake section, it will show you your vested staking rewards. They will be listed right here and it will show you the validator you are currently staked with. You will not start off with a, you can change the validator you were staked with. They just set it up so everyone kind of got a bit of a distribution across the entire platform for all the airdrops, so everyone had a fair chance to get back in and jump on board. So it does seem that there are a number of validators actually here, which is pretty cool. So I would say that that makes for an up and running and working chain. Again, you can change your staking rewards, who you're actually with validator wise, but you will not be able to claim those tokens until the end of the vesting period based on where you were on what you owned from their original proposal. So for certain people under 10,000 who had Luna, you will get 30%. For anyone under 1 million and over 10,000, you will be vested for at least a year, or is it 2 years? And then you have a 2-year cliff, and then the next one is a 4-year cliff for the over 1 million. So the large whales have to be held in there for quite some time. Should be very interesting to see what happens to the price action when those first vesting periods actually happen. Once they start opening up, that'll be a very scary period to have any tokens still left in the project. And for a lot of other people, post snapshot, you'll have a 30% lock period. So, there's a little bit of action out there just because I think people are trying to speculate on what the entire, how much of the pressure. I think a vast majority of our sell pressure probably already happened. And from this point on, we're probably looking at some speculative trading that is related to this. So it's very interesting. It really only managed to bring it down that far. This one currently started at about 50 cents is where they released it. So my guess at $1 ended up being kind of close. $1 was not too far off from where it ended up being. So I'm glad that actually worked out, that it's now trading significantly higher. I mean, that's a real percentage up if you were able to get in on that price. But again, those are kind of like bots are the only ones getting in on that sort of action. And like I said, this drop here, this initial drop, I would imagine is a big majority of all the heavy sell pressure, but time will tell, right? Honestly, time will tell. I think that this is being floated along with the meme economy sort of thing right now. So yeah, so Terra Station is where you will find your staked Luna, or the amount, the percentages of stakes. So you can check that out. Otherwise, you can check out how much you have by just going to your wallet. It's super simple right there. Let's look at coin market cap. It actually shows a little bit. So it says that took a little bit to, there's always a delay on this sort of price action here. Oh, and circulating supply, so current circulating supply is supposed to be about 210. And even though there's an asterisk on this, I would point to that probably being close because that's related to what's not staked and they know. But there was 1 billion total supply. And I had a number of questions about this on the last live stream I did. So there was 1 billion in total supply available on the new network, and that's how many are available. That is a fixed amount. It doesn't have a burn mint mechanism to make more of them. It is 1 billion. So that does, look at that. That's very nice to see. 575. I really enjoy seeing that, and I'm quite happy that it's doing as well as it is. Again, hopefully it goes on into the future. We'll see a nice rally into the future. Probably a year or two would be wonderful to kind of get us back to the break-even point. So let's take a look on over at what the rest of the announcement actually has for us. It really just kind of talks about how the staking rewards actually are. that it's a new chain, it's not a fork, the dApps have to be ported over. So we are currently still waiting for dApps to be ported over to the new network fully. Now, a number of them have been putting out tweets and notifications that they have actually made it or they're working on it, etc. So again, I would point to Twitter being the major place that you should point to or look to when it comes to finding out if your dApp of choice or your exchange of choice is available yet, what their promises are, whether or not they're coming. And you may even just go check out their Twitter to see if, hey, are they even coming over? Because I don't believe all dApps will. I do think the vast majority of the larger ones are going to be. They have probably been incentivized enough to manage to do it. So hopefully we'll see some of those good user interfaces and some of those working protocols. Because again, Luna was really a fantastic working network when it was running. It really was pretty seamless, never had a single hiccup. Not that I know of it was ever knocked down. I mean, it was fantastic. It was 20, 25 cents depending on the fee. I mean, sometimes it was like a penny for transactions. It was absolutely fantastic. So for the proportion of Luna airdrop that has been staked and is vesting, so basically telling you what I just went through, go check out the Terra Station desktop app. You can select Phoenix One. I don't think you have to do it. I'm pretty sure you just have to be on the mainnet. And like I said, it automatically does it. If you want to move on over to the old network, you can, but again, it's not really running and nothing's available over there. So I wouldn't spend much time there. You can change your delegators. And they basically end off on, oh yeah, see here, note tweets 5 and 3, mainnet as your set, not Phoenix One. So mainnet is the one that's already defaultly chosen for you. So lunatics, it's time to rebuild. And so I think that's the real sentiment here that everyone's trying to push for, or the narrative they're going for. So here we can look at our first one, Garda. Luna 2.0 is live now. So again, they've been retweeting between Luna Terra Money _ Terra Money and Doquan. They have basically been doing all of the tweets. They've been retweeting any platform that they think is going to hopefully bring enough excitement. And look, we can see here that MEXC support, its listing is coming up here. It's going to be in 2 hours, although that window was just posted May 28th. Wow, look at that, there you go. So they were giving away a prize pool. I think a lot of platforms actually are trying to pump it a little bit, just get people excited about it. They've got a bunch of rewards. Like I said, it seemed to be some scams, and I'll show you how to keep an eye out for those, but really do pay attention to see if there are any trying to attack you, because honestly, there are a lot of scams out there offering to give out a significant portion of money. I even saw one that was talking about giving 7,000 people 5 million Luna tokens, which is just absolutely insane, because that's like $3 billion. That's like 3 billion tokens, But then again, they may have been talking about Luna Classic, but I really even doubt that. I think they were probably talking about Luna 2.0 from my recollection. Spot trading is now available on Huobi. Binance announcement will list Terra 2.0 and will open for trading. There to look, see, so this was a question that people were asking about BUSD. Luna and BUSD is one of the trading pairs that they have offered. So I think some of these that have their own native or probably work heavily in some of these native tokens will be offering them as liquidity in that second pair. Here is one. Gate.io is actually offering Luna against ETH. So there's one if you are looking for ETH trading. Do note, everyone looking at Gate.io who is in the US, unfortunately that is no longer available to us, which is a bit of a shame, but what are you going to do? OKX, Terra Money 2 is on the listing. This was also done immediately, new listing. I'm trying to look for the pairs that we have available. USDT and USDC. So that pretty much seems to be the main gist of what I'm seeing out there as a basic. You can see USDT and USDC are probably going to be your safest bet when heading over to your tokens or you're heading over to your exchanges of choice. So make sure that you have some of those in your wallet or be prepared to get into that. I'm currently looking at KuCoin, which it only has USDT and USDC listed. So those are the things that we only really need to take a look at. Trading pair, Bybit, Luna USDT pair, Phoenix Finance, House Serendipitous. Okay, so now we're getting some Luna tweets. Oh, here we go. Here's one of these. Here's some of these that we start to see. We got, airdrop calculation logic. Let's take a look at this. What is going on here with how much you would have got? Okay, so This is basically where the 1 billion ended up going to. To my understanding, they kept about 30%. I believe 30% was kept for actually them. Let's do the math real quick. Boom. So 350 plus 300 plus 100 plus 100 plus 150, that's gonna be a billion. So there is the total billion right there. Let's see where it goes. So the community poll is the 30% earned for developers, earmarked for developers. So yeah, this is pretty much what I thought was the 30% that they kept. So these are the builders, right? So this is kind of Do Kwon again, keeping some for himself. Not gonna make a lot of people happy. So pre-attack Luna included bonding, unbonding derivatives. That got 35%. So that would have been delivered across all those people based on the amount you had. It looks like only 10% was sent to pre-attack AUST holders, which is very interesting because why do they get less than say the post-attack UST holders? You know, that's kind of frustrating because I feel like people who came, I guess they're trying, there's a big thing of a number of articles out there of people who were being sold and told to get into the platform to basically prop it up and bring the peg back up. And unfortunately, these people probably got the worst end of the stick because they weren't in it and then were given money to buy into it. And this buy-in is, you know, what ended up them not getting as much. But I'm kind of frustrated with that because that's what I had was AUST pre-attack. So it's a bit of a shame that that wasn't a larger percentage. It would have been nice to have seen a little bit more in there, but that's just a little bit biased, obviously. Airdrop calculation logic. Luna airdrop ratios. Below are the airdrop ratios determining the Luna to be airdropped to your wallet on 2.0. If the wallet held AUST, Luna, now called Luna Classic, or UST, during pre-attack snapshots, pre and post-attack, a user would get this. So here you go. Here is, this is perfect. There we go. That is the percentage that it ended up being that you would get. Wow, look at that. Look at Luna holders. Wow, they got a bunch because they were supporting it. Again, that's kind of annoying. Post-UST got more than old AUST who were in the network and believed in it from the beginning. But anyway, post-attack Luna holders, they really didn't get much. So this were the people really speculating on those very fraction of the tokens. Again, because you would have had such a large volume of tokens, you could have had 2 million. So what would 2 million be? I saw a number of people in stream talking about 2 million. So let's talk about 2 million times that number, 0.1234 zeros, 153,07927. All right, let's take a look. That's about 30. So you would end up getting about 30 tokens if you had 2 million Luna. 2 million Luna Classic, you get 30 tokens. So that times about $5, you'd have 150 bucks. So depending on where you went in, some people might be up from that because I imagine that some people bought much lower to get into that price action. So exchange rates on Luna Classic. Lower exchange rates for each liquid staking derivative of Luna Classic for both pre and post-attack snapshots. If a user held 1 C Luna during the pre-attack snapshot, the user's wallet would be considered to have 1 Luna during that period. Okay. Not 100% sure what we're talking about here. We're talking about Luna Classic. I guess that's the swap over from when it changed over, probably for the Luna Classic. So, airdrop allocation. Oh, so your ratio, yeah, minus this. Okay, so that's how they actually did the calculation, so everyone can see that. Pre-attack, post-attack. Oh, so they actually capped it. So if you had anything over 500,000, they still just gave you 500,000 worth instead of you weren't eligible, you just got that amount. Interesting. Sample users. Yeah, interesting. So that's going to be available. That will be out there. I have been talking for a minute, and it definitely looks like Sunday is not the play. Friday is the play, and it has to be any one of those periods where we are, oh, I'm behind my little symbol. I didn't even realize that. That's dumb. I've been behind my symbol that whole time. Well, that's not very fun. Okay, so here we go. Here's some of these Terra, you know, see, so here's some of these accounts that are looking to give out Luna. I've seen a number of these screenshots, but I think that they're screenshots taken from other people. So I'd be careful of scams. This is kind of that stuff I've been seeing. So Luna Terra, let's go to latest. Or was it where I was for you? Yeah. Anyone else relate to this picture? I don't know why this caught me, but oh yeah, I've invested a little bit, and then what I've actually invested, oh my goodness.